Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka the guy with the chucky cheesiest puns on the internet, and this video we're breaking down Willy's Wonderland. The movie stars Nicolas Cage, aka Mr. Really Bad to Pay Well, in what is one of his weirdest roles yet. Throughout this video we're going to be breaking the entire movie down, its ending, and who Cage might actually be. Heavy spoilers ahead, and if you enjoy the video then please click the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to the channel for breakdowns like this each and every day. With that out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into Willy's Wonderland. Okay, so Willy's Wonderland is basically Five Nights at Freddy's, which we can't say for legal reasons, and the film centers around a haunted Chuck E. Cheese's, which we also can't say for legal reasons. The backstory of the location is a weird one, and we discover throughout the film that the restaurant was originally owned by a serial killer called Jerry Willys. Not too focused on his TripAdvisor reviews, Willys used the location to live out his twisted fantasies, and over time he recruited several sick individuals. These guys would make a restaurant that Gordon Ramsay renovates look like the Ritz, and they primarily used a place inside Willy's called the Super Happy Fun Room as their hunting ground. In here they throw birthday parties, which would end with the killers brutally murdering the family there, whilst dressed as the cute and cuddly animals. I mean, it's not as bad as my birthday in 2020, but still not nice. Eventually, this drew the attention of the police, and they raided the place one night, only to discover that Willys and his buddies had carried out a suicide pact. Turns out there was actually a satanic edge to this, and their souls had been transferred into the bodies of the animatronics, because if you could shift your soul into a machine, why wouldn't you move it into a giant animal instead of Scarlett Johansson's vibranium gloves, or whatever. Anyway, 10 years passed, and the restaurant was bought by American stereotype Tex Macadoon. Tex wanted to renovate the lot and bulldoze the area, but the contractor who was scheduled to carry out the job was killed the day before, and more strange things started to happen in the town. There were a number of murders, and it slowly became clear that the vengeful serial killers had returned. Tex and the local sheriff decided to strike up a deal with the devil, and they went to Willys offering a bargain. In exchange for not attacking the townsfolk, they would supply unwitting victims to Willy, but there's one person that they didn't count on. Nicolas Cage, the pinball wizard. Anyway, the movie opens with a woman who looks like Heidi from Married at First Sight Australia being murdered, and it's not too long before we're introduced to a young Liv. Her parents were lured to the restaurant and they were killed in front of her eyes. Local Sheriff Eloise took the girl for herself, and since then she and her friends have been trying to put an end to Willy and his schemes. Now Liv pretty much becomes the character that does all the talking, because Nicolas Cage's, aka the Janitor, is playing this strong and silent type. I'm not even joking, the guy doesn't have one line of dialogue in the entire film, and therefore Liv becomes the most relatable person as she wants to burn down Willy's and all that it represents. Now early on in the movie, the janitor rolls into town and is taken out by a tyre trap, and thus he falls into the sacrifice game set up by the townsfolk. The janitor is told by Tex and a mechanic named Jed that they will fix up his car if he cleans Willy's up. Throughout the night he's haunted by the animatronics of the location and asked to fight them off one by one, all whilst continuing the job. It's completely ridiculous, and at times I was asking myself whether it was intentionally bad or just actually bad, and therefore even worse because it was trying to be bad. I'm still a bit torn on the movie, and though it has a lot of fun moments, there's also a lot of parts that don't really land. Now one thing I rate about Cage's character is that he's completely unfazed by the entire ordeal, and every time he tackles an animatronic monster, he tapes himself up, puts on a new t-shirt, and goes back to cleaning. Slowly Liv and his paths cross as the cast of Willy's murder her friends, and it leads to Eloise trying to offer the janitor up to Willy herself. Willy rips her in half, and this leads to him facing off against the janitor in a climactic battle. The next morning Tex and Jed arrive to see the damage, and they're shocked to find that he's lasted the night and has destroyed all of the animatronics inside. At the restaurant, Tex and Jed discuss actually opening it back up, but their celebrations are cut short by Siren Sarah, who lights the gasoline from the prior night. This destroys all three in the explosion, but the restaurant does survive, perhaps hinting at a sequel down the line. Left with her family dead and nowhere to go, Liv and the janitor ride off into the sunset, killing Tito the turtle on the way out, ending the movie and also freeing the townsfolk who have been victim to the curse of Willy's. So what this was going on and what's up with the janitor? Well, I actually believe that Cage is either playing a personification of death or the devil. Throughout the film, the character seems completely unfazed by everything that's going on, and even when he has a gun pointed to his head by the sheriff, he doesn't seem to care. He even waves at her at one point after this and goes back to cleaning, showing he just wants to keep up his end of the deal with Tex. Now, deals in general are mentioned throughout the movie, and as we know, Willy and co made one with Satan himself instead of surrendering. It is possible that, because of the janitor's adherence to deals, that he's come to collect on the one with Willy, and this is where he was driving to at the start of the film. On the way, his tyres were flattened, and thus he had to strike up his own deal with Jed and Tex, which stopped him from just going to the location and killing everyone there. This deal clearly has a lot of bearing over his actions in the movie, and Tex even says it's important to take plenty of breaks and to also wear the t-shirt, both of which he does without any real agency himself, to the point that when his watch goes off and alerts him to a break, he drops what he's doing and then goes and plays some pinball. Cage's character also loves games, and typically in fiction, death has been personified as being someone that has fun playing them too. He drinks Punch energy drink and has so many weird little characteristics that he's just fascinating to watch. I did try and enhance the dog tags that are present in his car at the start, but they aren't clear enough to see, so his name does still remain a mystery. However, at the end of the movie, even though he's completely unconnected from the explosion involving Tex and Jed, his sunglasses light up with flames, almost like he's seeing it himself. He has no history, no real future, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding him that I think is definitely open to interpretation. To me, he is either the devil or death, but I can see people disagreeing. He may just be someone with a mental compulsion that means he can't break his routine, as he even stops fighting at one point to go back to his habits. Cage himself has said he doesn't want to clear anything up, as he wants some mystery to remain around the character. However, he does know the answer, and hopefully we get it one day, because it's killing me. Now, as for the movie itself, I kinda have mixed feelings on it. I know it's supposed to just be a stupid schlock movie, so it kinda feels bad to ding it for that. I just wish there was a bit more meat to the film, and it runs a bit thin on plot by the midpoint. Once he's beaten up the first three killers, it kinda falls into a routine, and I feel like they could have focused a lot more on the origin story of Willy's Wonderland. That was by far the best part of the movie, I think, and I would have loved to have seen a lot more of that rather than just picking up after the fact and then paying some lip service to it. The janitor I'm a bit unsure of too, because I know so little about him. Without Cage, I think that he'd be a pretty uninteresting character due to him being a blank slate, and though the actor brings a lot of star power and charisma, I'm not sure that the character works on his own. I also felt a bit like the quote-unquote kid characters were a bit cliche and didn't really care about them to begin with, so when they died, I felt like we were just going through the motions. That being said though, you probably already know whether you're the kind of person that's going to like this movie or not, based on whether you like the concept and Cage as an actor. I personally thought it was okay, but I think the idea could be pulled off better in either a sequel, prequel, or even the Five Nights at Freddy film. It's difficult to really give this either a glowing review or a terrible one, as it's probably meant to be stupid. Therefore, my score is going to be 5 out of 10, but I can see people disagreeing with that on both ends of the spectrum. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on the movie, so make sure you comment below and let me know. Don't forget that on the 28th of February we're giving away 3 copies of the Phase 3 MCU 4K box set to our subscribers. All you have to do to be on the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the film. The winners of last month's competition are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of WandaVision, which will be linked on screen right now. We've gone over the last episode from top to bottom, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more. With that out of the way, thank you for sticking through the video. I've been Paul, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.